My wife's secret affair shattered our perfect life, but I had the last word. If this story stirred something in your heart, give it a like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe to Revenge Forge, where every story reminds us that pain can lead to power. I'm Zachary Coates, 42, an architect running a boutique firm in Seattle that pulls in $1.2 million a year. My life looked like a postcard: a cedar shingle house overlooking Lake Washington, a restored '72 Mustang Mach 1 in the garage, and a whiskey bar stocked with bottles that cost more than most people's rent. But the real anchor was Heidi, my wife of 12 years. At 34, she was a firecracker blonde, quick-witted with a laugh that could light up a room and a knack for closing deals as a real estate agent. We had 2 kids, Mia 10 and Ethan 8, and a rhythm that felt unbreakable: family dinners, weekend hikes in the Cascades, and late-night talks over Pinot Noir. Our friends Lila Owen and Nathan Bricker were the glue, the kind of crew you'd trust with your life. Nathan, my best friend since our UW days, was the guy I'd call at 2 a.m. if my world fell apart. Or so I thought. It started at a charity gala in Belltown, 7 p.m. on a rainy October night. My firm had designed the venue, a sleek community center, and I was there to schmooze with donors. Heidi was by my side, stunning in a red dress that hugged her curves, her charm pulling in pledges like nobody's business. Nathan was there too, his usual polished self cracking jokes and working the room. But something was off. Heidi's laugh was too sharp, her glances at Nathan too frequent. When she excused herself to take a call, and Nathan followed her to the terrace, my gut twisted. I didn't follow. I sipped my bourbon, smiled for the cameras, and told myself I was paranoid. But doubt is a seed, and once it's planted, it grows. The next morning, Heidi was up early, humming as she made coffee, but her phone was glued to her hand screen, locked. "Work stuff," she said when I asked her, smile too tight. That night I saw a text flash on her phone while she showered in: "Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Same place." My heart sank, but I didn't confront her. I'm not the guy who screams or throws things. I'm the guy who plans. Over the next week, the cracks widened. Heidi's client meetings ran late, her perfume lingered in the car when she claimed to be at spin class, and she started locking her laptop. The kids noticed too. Mia asked why Mom was always gone, and Ethan stopped hugging her as much. I kept my cool, played the doting dad, the supportive husband. But inside, I was a furnace burning for answers. I called Tessa Kane, a private investigator I'd met through a client, a no-nonsense woman in her 50s who could dig up dirt on anyone. Over beers at a dive bar in Fremont, I laid it out. Heidi's hiding something. Maybe with Nathan Bricker. I need to know. Tessa nodded, her eyes sharp. "Give me 10 days, Zach. You ready for the truth?" I was. While Tessa worked, I kept up the act. Family game night with the kids laughing as Ethan cheated at Uno. Drinks with Nathan Owen and Lila at our house, where Nathan toasted my latest project like he wasn't stabbing me in the back. His grin was too easy, his stories too loud. I watched his every move, noting how his eyes lingered on Heidi when she refilled his glass. She didn't flinch, but her fingers brushed his as she handed it over. I saw it. I filed it away. Heidi's excuses piled up: late closings, new listings, girls' night with Lila. But Lila let slip at a PTA meeting she hadn't seen Heidi in weeks. I checked Heidi's car, GPS disabled. Her credit card showed charges at the Pink Door, a romantic spot, when she was supposedly at a broker's event. I didn't confront her. I waited. Tessa's first report hit my inbox at 3 a.m. 8 days later. I sat in my home office, the lake, a black mirror outside, and opened the file. Photos: Heidi and Nathan at a waterfront cafe in Kirkland, her hand on his arm, his lips too close to her ear. Audio: Nathan's voice smug on a call with Owen. Zach's too wrapped up in his blueprints to see what's right in front of him. Texts from Heidi's phone mirrored by Tessa's: "Tech guy can't stop thinking about you. He's clueless." My stomach churned, but the real gut punch was an email from Nathan to Heidi, forwarded from his work account. I'd cracked password: his old dog's name, Lazy. They weren't just having an affair. They were planning to tank my firm. Nathan, a partner at a rival architecture outfit, had been pitching my clients behind my back, undercutting my bids. Heidi was feeding him my project timelines, client lists, even my personal calendar. Their plan: drive my firm into the ground, force me to sell, and let Nathan's company swoop in. Heidi would get a cut, a new life in Nathan. The betrayal wasn't just personal, it was a calculated heist. I didn't sleep. I poured a Knob Creek, stared at the lake, and let the anger sharpen into resolve. I wasn't going to beg or break. I was going to outplay them. First, I called my CFO, Marcus Reed, a numbers guy who'd been with me since the firm's startup days. Over coffee at a Greasy Spoon in Capitol Hill, I laid out the basics: no names, someone's leaking our bids, lock down client data, flag any unusual activity. Marcus nodded, his jaw tight. Whoever's screwing you, Zach, they're done. Next, I met my lawyer, Claire Vaughn, a bulldog in a blazer who'd handled my firm's contracts for years. Start prepping divorce papers, I said, voice steady, and look into corporate espionage. I've got proof. Claire's eyes gleamed. Send me everything. We'll nail them. I kept up the facade. Dinners with Heidi, her hand in mine, her lies as smooth as the Merlot we drank. Poker with Nathan, laughing at his bad bets while I memorized his tells. I even hosted a barbecue for the crew, grilling ribs while Lila raved about Heidi's new listing. Owen avoided my gaze. I wondered if he was in on it too. Tessa's second report was a bombshell. More photos: Heidi and Nathan at a boutique hotel in Bellevue, checking in under aliases. Audio: Heidi whispering to Nathan in a car, Zach's too focused on the kids. We're clear. And the kicker, a paper trail. Nathan had been funneling my firm's designs to his company, prepping to poach my biggest client, a $2 million waterfront project. Heidi had sent him the specs herself. I didn't crack, I strategized. Claire filed a temporary injunction to block any client poaching. Marcus rerouted our sensitive files to a secure server. I had Tessa's tech guy Sam mirror Heidi's phone and Nathan's work email. Every text, every call, I had it all. One message from Heidi to Nathan sent at 1 a.m. He's asking questions. We need to move fast. Nathan's reply: Don't worry, babe, he's no match. I saved that one. It was my ammo. The firm's annual showcase was 3 days away, a black tie event at the Chihuly Garden and Glass. Heidi would be there playing the perfect wife. Nathan would be there shaking hands, stealing my clients. My kids would be with my parents, safe from the storm. The board, the clients, the industry, they'd all be watching, and I'd be ready to flip the table. The Chihuly Garden and Glass shimmered under Seattle's drizzle, its glass sculptures twisting like my thoughts as I stepped into the showcase at 6 p.m. The room buzzed with architects, clients, and city bigwigs, all toasting my firm's latest designs. I wore a tailored navy suit, a glass of rye in hand, projecting the confidence of Zachary Coates, the man who built a $1.2 million empire from sketches and grit. Heidi was there, radiant in an emerald gown, her smile a perfect mask as she charmed a group of investors. Nathan Bricker worked the crowd, his slick charm landing on my top client, a developer named Greg Harper, who was eyeing a $3 million condo project. I watched them, my pulse steady, my plan locked and loaded. Tessa's reports had painted a clear picture. Heidi and Nathan weren't just lovers. They were conspirators. Their goal was to bleed my firm dry, poach my clients, and hand Nathan's company, Apex Designs, the keys to my kingdom. Tessa's tech guy Sam had cloned their devices, giving me a front-row seat to their betrayal. Texts, emails, even a shared Google Doc outlining how they'd ease Zach out by spreading rumors of my burnout. They'd enlisted Owen, our mutual friend, to plant doubts with clients, whispering that I was slipping, too distracted by family to lead. The kicker: Heidi had been funneling my firm's proprietary design software to Nathan, a tool I'd spent $200,000 developing. They were selling my life's work for a payout and a new start together, but I wasn't the only one watching. Tessa was in the crowd, posing as a journalist, her earpiece feeding me updates. Nathan's pitching Greg Harper, she whispered at 6:45 p.m. Heidi's circling, keeping your team distracted. I nodded to myself, sipping my rye. Let them think they had the upper hand. I'd spent the last 72 hours fortifying my position. Marcus, my CFO, had locked down our financials, rerouting sensitive accounts to a secure server. Claire, my lawyer, had drafted a cease and desist letter to Apex Designs, citing intellectual property theft, ready to drop at my signal. Sam had set up a digital trap. If Nathan or Heidi tried to access my firm's cloud, I'd get an alert with their exact location. But the real twist came from an unexpected source: Lila, our friend, who'd been oblivious to the affair. She'd called me yesterday, voice shaky after finding an email on Owen's laptop. Owen wasn't just a bystander, he was brokering deals between Nathan and my clients, taking a 10% cut. Lila was devastated, but she handed me the email, proof that Owen had met with Greg Harper last week, pitching Apex's services with my stolen designs. I didn't confront Owen. I thanked Lila, told her to stay quiet, and added her evidence to my arsenal. This wasn't just about Heidi and Nathan anymore. It was a three-headed betrayal, and I was ready to cut them all off at the knees. At 7:30 p.m., I caught Heidi's eye across the room. She glided over her perfume, a familiar stab. "You're killing it tonight, Zach," she said, her voice velvet. She touched my arm, her fingers lingering. "Proud of you." I smiled, my skin crawling. "Thanks, babe. Big night." Her eyes searched mine for cracks, but I gave her nothing. Tessa pinged me at 8 p.m. "Nathan's in the sculpture garden with Greg. Sounds like a deal's closing." I excused myself from a chat with the councilwoman and slipped outside the rain, a fine mist on my face. The garden was a maze of glass and shadows, Chihuly's creations glowing under soft lights. I stayed hidden, my phone recording, as Nathan leaned in close to Greg. "Zach's spread thin, man," he said, voice low. "Apex can deliver faster, cheaper." "You in?" Greg hesitated. "Coates is solid. I'd need guarantees." Nathan smirked. "I've got his designs. You'll see them Monday." My blood boiled, but I stayed still, the audio crystal clear. Heidi joined them, her laugh cutting through the drizzle. "Greg, you know I'd never steer you wrong," she set, her hand on his shoulder. "Apex is the future. I had them." Back inside, I found Marcus at the bar. "Nathan's closing on Greg Harper," I said, voice low. "We need to lock him out now." Marcus nodded, pulling out his phone. "I'll freeze their access to the design software. Done by midnight." I trusted Marcus. He was loyal, a rare breed in this snake pit. By 9 p.m., the showcase was peaking, the crowd drunk on wine and ambition. I took the stage for my speech, the room falling silent. "This firm is my heart," I said, my voice steady. "We've built something real, something lasting. But trust is everything, and tonight I'm protecting what's ours." The crowd clapped, oblivious to the bomb I was about to drop. I glanced at Heidi, her smile faltering. Nathan shifted in his seat, his eyes narrowing. Good. They felt it coming. After my speech, I pulled Greg Harper aside. "We need to talk," I said, leading him to a quiet corner. I showed him a screenshot of Nathan's email to Heidi detailing their plan to poach him. "Nathan's using my designs to undercut me. You're being played." Greg's face hardened. "That son of a Zach, I'm with you." "What do you need?" I smiled. "Just be at the board meeting tomorrow. You'll see." Tessa's next update came at 10:15 p.m. Heidi and Nathan are in a back room arguing. I slipped through the crowd, finding the room a small office off the main hall. The door was cracked, their voices sharp. "Zach's too quiet," Heidi hissed. "He knows something." Nathan scoffed. "He's got nothing. We've got Owen, Greg, and Apex. By next week you're free and we're rich." Heidi's voice wavered. "What if he fights back? You don't know him like I do." Nathan laughed cold. "He's soft, Heidi, always has been." I recorded every word, my jaw tight. "Soft, they'd see." I didn't confront them. I returned to the showcase, shaking hands, laughing, playing the part. But my mind was on tomorrow's board meeting, a 9 a.m. showdown at my firm's downtown office. I'd called it last-minute sighting, urgent business. Nathan wasn't invited, but Owen was, and I'd make sure he regretted showing up. Sunday morning, I woke at 5 a.m., the house silent except for the kids' soft snores. Heidi was still asleep, her phone face down on the nightstand. I checked at new texts from Nathan. "Meet me at 7 p.m., the pink door. We'll finalize with Apex." I forwarded them to Tessa, then rode my Mustang to a diner in Pioneer Square. Claire and Tessa were waiting, coffee steaming. "Nathan's meeting Apex tonight," I said, sliding Tessa's latest report across the table. "We hit them first." Claire flipped through the report, her eyes gleaming. "This is enough for a lawsuit, corporate espionage, breach of contract. You want to file now?" I shook my head. "After the board meeting. I want them to see it crumble first." Tessa leaned in. "Heidi's sloppy. She's using her personal email for half this. I've got photos from Bellevue Audio from last night. Divorce ammo," I nodded. "Save it. I'm not ready to pull that trigger." Back home, Heidi was up making pancakes for Mia and Ethan like nothing was wrong. "Big day?" she asked, her smile brittle. "Huge," I said, kissing her forehead. She flinched, barely noticeable. She knew I was watching. That afternoon, I met Sam at a co-working space in South Lake Union. He'd cracked Nathan's encrypted drive, a gold mine. blueprints, client lists, even a draft email to Apex's CEO promising my $3 million condo project by next month. This is fraud, Sam said. Federal charges if you push it. I nodded. Send it to Claire. And keep tracking their phones. The twist came at 4 p.m. when Lila called, voice trembling. Zach, there's more. Owen's been meeting with your junior architect, Sarah. She's feeding him your project drafts. Sarah, my protege, a 28-year-old I'd mentored for 3 years, another knife in the back. Lila sent me screenshots of Owen's text to Sarah, keep sending the files. Zach's done. I thanked Lila, my chest tight. This wasn't just Heidi and Nathan, it was a conspiracy. I didn't confront Sarah. Instead, I had Marcus flag her access, limiting her to dummy files. If she was leaking, she'd get nothing real. I called Greg Harper, confirming he'd be at the board meeting. I'm bringing the hammer, I told him. He laughed. Can't wait to see Nathan squirm. Monday, 9 a.m. The boardroom was a glass fortress, Seattle's skyline sprawling below. Marcus sat beside me, Claire on speed dial. The board filed in Ellen, my COO, sharp and loyal. Tom, a skeptic who'd backed me since day one. And Rachel, a new member who'd been cozy with Nathan. Owen slunk in, avoiding my eyes. I stood, my voice like steel. We've got a traitor in our ranks. I projected Sam's evidence, Nathan's emails to Apex, Heidi's texts, Owen's deal with Greg Harper. Gasps rippled through the room. Rachel's face paled. Owen stammered, Zach, I cut him off, save it, you're done. I played Nathan's audio from the gala. Zach soft. The board's eyes burned with outrage. Ellen spoke first. Nathan's out. I moved to suspend him and launch an investigation. Tom seconded. Rachel, shaken, nodded. Owen tried to bolt, but Marcus blocked the door. You're fired, I said. Security's waiting. He left, head down, no fight left. The vote was unanimous. Nathan's access revoked, Apex cut off. I left the boardroom, adrenaline surging, and texted Tessa, phase 1 complete. Watch Heidi. She was at home packing a bag, her phone buzzing with Nathan's calls. Sam sent me their latest texts. Heidi to Nathan, Zach knows. We're screwed. Nathan, meet me tonight. We'll fix this. I let them meet. Tessa tailed them to the pink door, her mic catching every word. Heidi was unraveling. He's got the board, Nathan. We're done. Nathan, desperate, snapped. Not if we spin this. Blame Owen. I smiled, saving the audio. They were turning on each other. Tuesday, 7 a.m. I rode to the lake, the water calm, my mind racing. Claire called. Apex is backing off. The injunction worked. Nathan's accounts are under investigation. Divorce papers ready. I hesitated. Tomorrow. I want one more move. That move was a dinner with Heidi at Canlis, our old favorite. She wore the emerald gown, her eyes wary. Over halibut and Chardonnay, I played the devoted husband, but when dessert arrived, I slid a USB drive across the table. What's this? She asked, her voice trembling. Open it, I said. Photos of her and Nathan, their texts, their emails to Apex. Her face drained of color. Zach, I cut her off. You tried to ruin me. You failed. She didn't beg, just stared, her mask crumbling. What now? She whispered. You'll see, I said, standing. I walked out, the city lights fading behind me. The war wasn't over, but I'd drawn blood. Heidi was cornered. Nathan was sinking and Owen was gone. But the ache in my chest wasn't victory. It was the ghost of the life I'd lost. The Seattle skyline was a blur of steel and glass as I rode my Mustang through the dawn mist, the engine's growl a steady pulse against the chaos in my head. It was Wednesday, 6 a.m., and Heidi hadn't come home after our dinner at Canlis. Her absence was a silent scream, louder than any fight we'd ever had. My phone buzzed, Tessa, my PI, with an update. Heidi's at Nathan's place in Queen Anne. They're spiraling. Want me to stay on them? I texted back, keep eyes on. I'm ending this today. The USB drive I'd left with Heidi was my opening shot, but the battle wasn't over. Nathan Bricker was cornered, his career crumbling under the SEC's scrutiny and Apex Design's retreat. Heidi was unraveling her text to Nathan, desperate. Zach's got everything. What do we do? Owen was outfired and disgraced, but a new twist had emerged late last night. Sam, my tech guy, had uncovered a hidden email thread between Heidi and Sarah, my junior architect. Sarah wasn't just leaking drafts, she was helping Heidi draft a smear campaign planning to paint me as an unstable CEO to the local press. They'd even mocked up a fake email from me ranting about stress to leak to a tech blog, Puget Pulse. The betrayal was a hydra cut, one head another grew. I didn't flinch. I'd built my firm, my life from nothing, and I wasn't about to let them burn it down. My kids, Mia and Ethan, were at my parents' place, safe from the fallout. Today I'd protect what was mine, my company, my name, my future. At 7 a.m. I met Marcus and Claire at a coffee shop in Pike Place, the market's bustle a stark contrast to the war room vibe at our table. Marcus slid me a tablet. Sarah's access is fully cut off. She tried logging in last night, dummy files only. Claire added, the SEC froze Nathan's accounts an hour ago. Apex is pulling out of Seattle entirely. Your cease and desist scared them off. I nodded, my jaw tight. What about Heidi? Claire's eyes softened, but her voice was steel. The divorce papers are ready. Adultery, breach of fiduciary duty, conspiracy to commit fraud. She'll get $150,000 max, your prenup's airtight. I can serve her today. I stared at the coffee steam, the weight of 12 years pressing on my chest. Serve her, I said. But I want her to face me first. Tessa's next report hit at 8:30 a.m. Audio from Nathan's condo, Heidi voice cracking. Zach's going to ruin us, Nathan. I should have stopped this, Nathan, bitter. You wanted this as much as I did. Don't bail now. A pause, then Heidi. I can't lose Mia and Ethan. My heart twisted. She hadn't cared about them when she was plotting with Nathan. I saved the audio, another nail in their coffin. The twist came at 9 a.m. when Lila texted me a bombshell. She'd hacked Owen's cloud drive, her own act of revenge, and found a video call recording from 2 weeks ago. Nathan, Heidi, Owen, and Sarah plotting in real time. Sarah's voice smug. I'll leak the email to Puget Pulse. Zach's done by Friday. Heidi hesitant but complicit. Just make sure it doesn't trace back to me. I forwarded the video to Claire. This is gold, she texted back. Class action lawsuit material. I didn't stop there. I called Greg Harper, my $3 million client, and played him the gala audio of Nathan's pitch. I'm sticking with you, Zach, he said, his voice hard. Nathan's a snake. What else you need? I smiled. Spread the word. Apex is toxic. By noon, Puget Pulse ran a story, Apex Designs implicated in corporate theft scandal. Nathan's name was plastered across it, the comments vicious. Another Seattle sleaze burned by his own game. I didn't read past the headline. I didn't need Reddit stories to know I'd hit my mark. At 1 p.m. I set up a meeting with Ellen, my COO at the firm. Sarah's out, I said, showing her the video. Ellen's face darkened. She was like a daughter to you. I nodded, the sting sharp. She made her choice. Ellen drafted a termination letter citing breach of contract. Sarah was escorted out by 2 p.m., her eyes wide with panic. I didn't watch. I had bigger moves to make. Tessa's update came at 3 p.m. Heidi's at a cafe in Ballard alone. Looks rough. I rode there, the Mustang's rumble steadying me. Heidi sat outside staring at her coffee, her face pale. I didn't approach. Instead, I texted Claire, serve her now. The process server arrived at 3:30 p.m., handing Heidi the divorce papers. She froze, her eyes scanning the pages, then looked around searching for me. I was already gone back on my bike, the wind cutting through my thoughts. By 5 p.m. Nathan's world was collapsing. Apex's CEO emailed my firm disavowing Nathan and offering a settlement to avoid a lawsuit. I forwarded it to Claire, who replied, we can squeeze them for $500,000. Your call. I told her to push for it. Nathan's LinkedIn went dark, his phone disconnected. Owen texted me begging Zach I messed up. Let's talk. I deleted it. He was irrelevant. Heidi called at 6 p.m., her voice a wreck. Zach, please, I need to explain. I let it go to voicemail. She tried again, leaving a message. I'm sorry, okay, I didn't mean for this to happen. I saved it, another piece of evidence. The kids were still with my parents and I wasn't ready to face them with this. Mia had texted me earlier. Why's mom so weird lately? I replied. We'll talk soon, kiddo. Love you. I couldn't let them get caught in the crossfire. The final twist hit at 8 p.m. Sam sent me a new file, Heidi's personal journal stored on her cloud, accessed through a weak password. Our anniversary ironic. Entries from the past month detailed her guilt. I thought Nathan was my escape, but I'm losing everything. Zach deserves better. Another Mia and Ethan look at me like I'm a stranger. I can't fix this. I should have felt vindicated, but it hurt. She'd known the cost and chose it anyway. Thursday, 7 a.m. I rode to the lake, the water still my mind a storm. Claire called. Heidi's been served. She's at her sister's in Tacoma begging for a meeting. Apex settled for $400,000. Nathan's done SEC's building a case. I exhaled. Good. Set up a meeting with Heidi neutral ground, tomorrow. That night I hosted the kids for dinner at home, keeping it light pizza board games, their laughter a lifeline. Mia asked, is Mom coming back? I hugged her. We're figuring it out, sweetheart. Ethan didn't ask. He just clung to me quieter than usual. I swore I'd protect them no matter what. Friday, 3 p.m. I met Heidi at a park in Green Lake, the kids with my parents. She looked hollow, her eyes red, clutching a coffee cup like it was her anchor. Zach, she started, voice trembling. I screwed up. I thought Nathan was freedom. I was wrong. I stood arms crossed, my face stone. You didn't just cheat Heidi. You tried to destroy my work, our family. For what she cried, soft and broken. I felt trapped. The kids, the house, it was too much. Nathan made me feel alive. I laughed cold. Alive, you sold us out. You fed him my designs, my clients. You let Sarah smear me. Her eyes widened. Sarah was news to her. Sarah, she whispered. I didn't. Don't. I cut her off. I've got the emails, the video, everything. You're done. She reached for my hand, but I stepped back. The kids stay with me. You'll get supervised visits. Sign the papers, Heidi, or it gets uglier. She nodded, tears streaming. I'll sign. I love you, Zach. I looked at her, the woman I'd built a life with, now a stranger. You burned it all, Heidi. You don't get to rebuild with me. I walked away, her sobs fading behind me. Saturday, 6 a.m. I woke to a text from Greg Harper. Apex is toast. You're the only game in town now. My firm was secure the $400,000 settlement, a bonus. Claire confirmed Heidi signed the divorce papers, waiving any claim to my assets. Nathan was persona non grata in Seattle's architecture scene, his reputation ash. Sarah was blacklisted, her career stalled before it started. Owen sent another pleading text. I blocked him. I took Mia and Ethan to the lake that morning, their laughter as they skipped stones, a reminder of what I was fighting for. At a coffee shop later, I met a woman named Nora, a 38-year-old landscape designer walking her lab, Cooper. She smiled, unpolished, real. Nice kids, she said, nodding at Mia and Ethan. We talked about Seattle's rain, our love for old cars, the way kids make you see the world anew. I asked her for coffee next week. She said yes. As the sun broke through the clouds, I felt a shift, not closure, but a beginning. Heidi, Nathan, Owen, Sarah. They'd tried to break me, but I'd outplayed them. My firm was stronger, my kids were safe, and I was standing. The ache lingered, but it wasn't defeat. It was proof I'd survived. Like what you heard, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Revenge Forge, because the next story might just be your favorite one yet. Was I too cold with Heidi? Or did she earn every consequence should I have confronted Nathan face to face? Or was silence my sharpest blade? And Nora, is she a chance to heal? Or am I too scarred to trust again? Drop your thoughts below. I'm listening.